This is the Twin City News Around Town. A closer look at the people, places, and events around Batesburg, Leesville, Gilbert, and the Ridge. Presented by the Twin City News, Batesburg, Leesville's community journalism since 1925.
Well, Meredith, your business has certainly taken a turn, and I happen to like a nip every now and then, but I think I'm like a lot of people now who actually like the idea of getting a little nip of hand sanitizer right now.
Absolutely. This is something that we did not see coming. About 15 days ago, South Carolina DOT gave us a call as they are coordinating the effort for the entire state government agencies, and gave us a call, asked us if we could make some hand sanitizer. At first, we almost thought they were kidding, but obviously they were not. So we kind of switched things around here. We switched to completely hand sanitizer production right now. It's been a little challenging just to kind of find those pieces and parts that we didn't have before. We needed 1-gallon jugs. We needed some different chemicals to add into our hand sanitizer that was not a part of our typical operation, but as I like to say, we can Google with the best of them. So we were able to find what we needed and able to help out our state, our community, and we're just so proud to be able to do that. Well,
now the process of making good whiskey is an art form in and of itself, but key ingredient of hand sanitizer, of course, is alcohol. How much different is the alcohol that goes into the vat of hand sanitizer than the alcohol that I would normally purchase here on any given Saturday afternoon?
So the highest alcohol content that we have here that we sell as a drinkable alcohol is 45% alcohol. Now your hand sanitizer that we're making to meet FDA regulations right now is 80% alcohol. So your percentage of alcohol is quite a bit higher.
Yeah, and then it's a higher percentage of alcohol, and then of course there's other things that go into hand sanitizer as well that normally wouldn't go into that nice bottle of brown stuff I see over there on the wall.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the other key ingredients for hand sanitizer, so we don't dry out those hands quite so bad, is some glycerol. Glycerol is, a very, very viscous product that will help coat those hands, and so it won't dry out your hands quite as bad.
So now the hand sanitizer that you're sending to the state, and this is hand sanitizer that goes to different state agencies around Palmetto State. What exactly goes in it? Is it just alcohol and glycerol?
It's alcohol, glycerol. We have to add a denaturing agent. Basically, that just means that we're adding an agent that makes it undrinkable so that folks don't want to drink this. And actually, the FDA's asked us to add a little hydrogen peroxide into it as well. That's an antimicrobial.
And so the process of making the alcohol that goes into this, is it the same process except for that ingredient that makes this hand sanitizer undrinkable?
So essentially, yes. The first thing we did is we took all the moonshine that we had left in drums, put it back in our big still right here behind us, and cooked it off a second time. So it got that alcohol percentage up high enough to make it antimicrobial, make it able to kill germs. And so we cooked it off again so that we took a drinking alcohol, cooked it off to a higher percentage alcohol, then added those chemicals that made it undrinkable, added that glycerol, and started putting it in bottles for hand sanitizer.
For the uninitiated like me, how long does it take to make a batch of alcohol like in the holding jug over here behind us?
So when we make our moonshine to drink, we make it at 45% alcohol. It takes a week to ferment a 200-gallon batch that we have. Now we have several fermenters, but it takes a week to ferment in a 200-gallon batch. We cook that off. That 200-gallon batch is going to turn into 30 gallons of 45% alcohol. So we had to cook that once again, and so it takes quite a bit of fermentation to make just a little bit of alcohol for hand sanitizer because the alcohol percentage is so high.
But the process then is longer than making a typical
jug
of whiskey.
Yes, absolutely.
How long would it take you to turn around the next batch for DOT in the state?
So what we've done is we've cooked through all the moonshine that we have, and we've started trying to partner with other small distilleries. We've tried to get as much from some national companies that we're able to. Because we have a distillery permit, we're allowed to also buy and bring in alcohol to the state of South Carolina, so that's fantastic. We've reached out to other partners all over the nation and asking them and telling them that, here we are, we're in need, South Carolina's in need, and please help us out. So we've reached around, tried to find several different distilleries and folks to help us out there.
Have you heard from folks around the state? Are they using Hollow Creek hand sanitizer now?
Absolutely. So we were the first to deliver to the South Carolina state government. As a matter of fact, the Governor Henry McMaster, got one of the first 75 bottles that we delivered. One of those went right to him. So we were real proud of that. And several other agencies have reached out to us. I know the Richland County Coroner's Office has sent us a message telling us thank you for the hand sanitizer that they got through DOT. We've heard from several different agencies. There's a senior resources agency that reached out and said thank you for the hand sanitizer we've gotten. So it's been nice to hear back from those that we're helping as well.
Now, you're not making drinkable liquor right now. What's your vision going forward? Let's say coronavirus is past us by the beginning of summer. Are you prepared to get back into making that sweet nectar that Hollow Creek makes?
Absolutely. We will certainly be back in production here very soon of our moonshine, and we also have a high cotton bourbon and a white hot cinnamon whiskey. We'll be back in production. We've got some stored up of our high cotton bourbon and our white hot cinnamon whiskey in particular, because those also go out to liquor stores throughout South Carolina. So we've got some stashed up that we hope to be able to keep us going, as well as, again, getting right back into it, starting to cook again, as well as trying to help this hand sanitizer business out as much as possible, helping these state government, healthcare facilities, etc.
So walk me through the production process from beginning to end. If you're starting fresh and anew, how does it get from the beginning to going in these white jugs that are behind us?
So what we do, like I said, we took that initial moonshine, we cooked it off once again to get that percentage of alcohol high enough up that it would kill some germs. We then put it in some large 55-gallon drums and start mixing from there. We add our other chemicals, add our glycerol, our hydrogen peroxide, and mix it very well. Then we'll put it into some large 275-gallon totes. We like to put 120, 200 gallons in that 270-gallon tote at a time. And as you'll see in some of these videos, probably, put a couple of people in front of these totes that we have and fill up those jugs.
And just spout it down, and you're filling up jugs, and off it goes to help keep people safe. It must be very gratifying to know that the work you're doing on the hill overlooking the lake is actually helping people stay safe.
It is. It was an honor to be asked by the state government to help with this effort. I've told folks that my husband and I are both lifelong South Carolinians. We were born here, raised here, educated right here in Gilbert, South Carolina, went off to Clemson University, came back home here, and made a home for ourselves, our son, and built a business here. And so this is home, and it's great to be able to help out that community and that state that's been such an integral part of our education and our lives, and it's just been very gratifying.
And it must also be a sobering thought that you also can't meet the need of everybody who needs hand sanitizers. I mean, when this thing broke loose a few weeks ago, it was toilet paper and hand sanitizer that people really, I would say that it's fair to say that they panicked and they bought up everything that they could find. So there's also got to be a part of you that wishes you had about 3 of these warehouses turning out hand sanitizer right now.
Absolutely. I know, I've had so many individuals reach out as well as other companies and agencies, and we're trying to help as many folks as we can. Right now we're focused on government, healthcare workers, those that are really, on the front lines. I've talked to a couple of elderly folks that wanted some for their home, and I've told them right now we can't do individual sales because we just can't get enough alcohol to supply the need for our frontline folks. But I tell them, stay at home, wash those hands. The best thing you can do is wash those hands with soap and water. That's really going to get rid of the most amount of this virus. However, we've got those folks on the front lines that can't be at a sink all the time. They don't have soap and water, and so that's who we're making this hand sanitizer for, is for those folks that really are out there, right there in the mix of this COVID-19.
Well, I know you're on mission for a major outreach mission right now, but paint a picture of what Hollow Creek Distillery is for folks who've never been here. It was on my bucket list of places to come and visit eventually in time. Now I'm up here talking about hand sanitizer, but paint the picture for folks who've never been up to the lake and seen what you do here.
So Hollow Creek Distillery has been here a little over 5 years now. The day after Christmas 2014, we opened right here on this little hill in Leesville, South Carolina, overlooking Lake Murray. We're a red barn with a couple of rocking chairs out front, and we're open every weekend, Thursdays 1 to 7, Fridays and Saturdays 10 to 7. When we're not in this pandemic mode here, we are able to do tours and tastings. We have free tours and tastings anytime we're open. Once that's allowed by the governor again, we'll be doing that again. But we just like to tell folks our story, show them what we do here. We've got a moonshine line and several different flavors of moonshine. And then within the last year, we've launched a high cotton bourbon brand as well as a white hot cinnamon whiskey, and those two have really taken off. Those have been picked up by a large distributor and now are hitting liquor stores throughout South Carolina. We're really proud of those. Right now I know we are in Total Wine, which is a very large store all over South Carolina. We've hit several Total Wine stores as well as other liquor stores and bars and restaurants even with those.
It's a premium boutique type liquor that you have here.
It's definitely handcrafted liquor that we have here. This is a family business through and through. My husband and I opened this place, like I said, a little over 5 years ago, and we, this is we call this our second baby. we have almost 9-year-old at home, and this was our second baby. We definitely put our hearts into this, our love into this, and our community has really opened their arms and welcomed us here and been great to us in the last 5 years. And so when we had the opportunity to come back and help, we said absolutely and jumped right in.
Well, once everything kind of gets back to normal, and we all pray it will get back to normal real soon, do you see the hand sanitizer business as being a subsidiary now of Hollow Creek Distillery?
I don't know that it'll be a subsidiary of Hollow Creek Distillery. I think, we're definitely willing and wanting to help out here during this pandemic, but I think, once we kind of get back to normal, we may just continue being a distillery, but I would never say never, though, because if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have probably said we wouldn't be making hand sanitizer, too. So never say never.
I could definitely see my sanitizing my hands with some cinnamon flavored hand sanitizer.